Hi, welcome back to my channel where I share my journey as I transition from a software engineer to a full-time graphite artist. In my previous video, I shared about the reason why I decided to quit software engineering and how I find out that art is the next career I wanted to build. But I kind of went over the quitting part pretty quickly. I'm just like, yeah, I quit, and then I went find another career. But it was definitely not that easy. So in this video, I wanted to share with you the three biggest fear I had before I quit and how I overcame them. So let's get started. So fear number one, and you probably guessed it, it's money, right? Okay, let's say I quit and I'm gonna go build my other career. I will not have income for quite some time. And that was a huge fear, right? It's like, yes, I have savings, but I will literally be burning my saving while I'm trying to figure this out. And that's a very legitimate fear, right? There's two parts that help me to overcome that fear. One is the logical part, and one is kind of like the mental game. The logical part is to figure out what is my monthly expenses and income that I can have if I quit my stable job. And then like have a very honest look at what will your burn rate be every single month, like how much money you're going to be burning before you can have a second income stream from your career, right? And then basically plan that, okay, I'm going to allocate this much money. So I give myself, let's say, 1 year or 2 year before this second career that I'm building can start generating income to cover my expenses. And that number is going to be different for everyone, depends on your comfort level. I'm a very conservative person, so I gave myself 5 years just in case if I somehow get hit by a car or something, please don't. Or like I have like medical bills I have to pay. So then I'm like, okay, now I have a plan. So yes, I will be burning money, but it's part of the plan. Now, that didn't really help me to completely overcome that fear. After I quit, every now and then I still like freak out. So I think the second part is like, even though you know you have a plan, but how do you just get more comfortable and not freak out about burning your saving? Two things that help me. One is it's kind of similar to when you're trying to learn swimming and you're afraid of the water, right? Take a gradual ease into it if you can. So, what I mean by that is, I didn't just quit my full time job and suddenly have zero income, become an artist. I tried different things, right? So, like, I tried be a part time engineer, I tried doing like contracting on the side. So, that period helped me to become more comfortable with like maybe a lower income while I develop my other career. And once I get more comfortable, I'll be like, okay, maybe I can completely drop my engineering job and have even lower income while I put more energy and time on ramping up my second career. So it was kind of like a ease, as like step down process for me. It was not literally just like flip the car zero, like 100 to zero. And I think that really helped me to kind of like become more comfortable with burning my saving, basically. Now, the second part that helped me is like, even with that, every now and then I would still freak out. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I am burning so much money. And what helped me to contain that fear is to basically sit down and go back. I will literally go back, look at every single one of my expenses, like on my credit card, everything. I will list out all my expenses, the category that I'm spending, and I'll be like, okay, are you still spending, like, are you still on track with your original plan? Are you spending more money or less money than you originally think you would? If I'm spending less money, I'll be like, great, you're burning money, but like not as much as you thought you would, right? It's still part of the plan. You're still safe. It's still within the plan. Now, if I'm burning more money than I thought, I can look at where my money went. I'll be like, okay, maybe next month I should cut down my expenses, right? Maybe I should not go out and eat as much, or maybe cut down my social time a little bit. So it's almost like pulling out your logical brain to help and like quantify this fear is like, is this legitimate, right? Or is it overblown? And I think those really help me to just become more comfortable for not having an income that cover all my expenses for a period of time. So the second fear that I had is that it's too late for me to build another career. And when I said this, I don't mean like physically or mentally I'm like incapable of building another career. Cause like when I was start thinking about this, I was like about 30 years old. So like I was still feeling pretty sharp. But when I said it's too late to build another career, is this realization that whatever the second career I wanted to build, guess what? There are already so many people who spent 10 years building that career while I was working as a software engineer. And the idea that I will have to almost like relive my 20s, go down to the bottom of the ladder and climb that ladder again and like rebuild another career from scratch was very discouraging. I think what helped me to kind of like take a chill pill, there's like many different things. One thing is, as I start building my art career, I realized a lot of the skills that I learned from my software engineering job actually are transferable to my art career. Like you wouldn't think software engineering and art have like much in common, but there's actually a lot of things that I've learned are like transferable. So one big thing is all the people skill that you learn, doesn't matter which industry you're in, are pretty much transferable to another industry. Because at the end of the day, if you're dealing with people, it's all about the same. Like for example, how do you present yourself? How do you resolve conflict, right? The other thing about like time management is also completely transferable. How do I plan my week? How do I prioritize all the work that I have to do? Those are pretty much the same skill sets. Doesn't matter which industry that you go into. So yes, there are definitely things that I will have to learn from like zero knowledge when it comes to art just because I didn't have the background. But there's so much more that other skill set that I can bring to the table that it's not going to be the same as building your career again like you were in the 20s. This time you're going to build it so much faster. You are so much smarter and more experienced that it's not going to take you that long, right? And the other thing that also helped me is to kind of just like look back and reflect on how much you have learned and like overcame in the past, let's say 10 years. And if you literally just take that same projections and put it in your next 10 years, it's be like, yeah, I've learned so much. I can keep learning. Like whatever that I need to do to build my art, I will just learn it. Like I can learn. I've learned so much stuff already. I can keep learning, right? So I think it's a mentality change. So I think the last thing that kind of helped me to free me from this, like, oh my God, I need to play catch up, like I made the wrong decision, is that if you think about it, like, why did I become a software engineer? Like, of course, I loved it in the beginning, but it was literally because I majored in computer science in undergrad. I decided to choose that major when I was like 21 or something. And the idea that our entire career needs to be based on just one single decision that you made in your 20s and you cannot change it, it's just like, no, it doesn't need to be that way. So many things about ourselves changes over time. And why can't we change our career? It shouldn't be seen as a mistake that I made, that I chose the wrong career. It should just be that that is a chapter of my life that I had a great time enjoying like doing it, but now I'm done with it. Now I'm ready to make that decision again in terms of what kind of career I wanted to do for the next 10 years. I'm ready for the next chapter. So I think those really helped me to kind of like overcome that fear that I'm too late for this. I'm too late to build another career. It's like it's never too late. So the third fear that I had is that I will never be able to make it with the second career that I'm trying to build. And what I mean by that is like I'll never be able to build another career that generate enough income, and I'll never like have the same amount of money as my software engineering. It's just like I'm going to take a step down. I'll never be able to make it again. That's a very legitimate fear. Now, I think this question has many different aspects to it, and I've learned to kind of like break it down into two parts. One is, what do you mean by you're never going to be able to make it? What is it? Like, what is your definition of success? What is your goal here that you're trying to do with with the second career that you're trying to build? And for me, like if I'm looking at my art career, if my goal is I want to be a famous artist, I want to sell my artwork for like $1 million or something, yeah, I might not be able to make it. Chances are probably not going to happen. Um, but those are not my goals, right? My goal is to enjoy doing art and be a better artist. And yes, I do want it to generate enough income so I can cover my expenses and have some savings in the long term. So this is like a sustainable career for me. Now, if that is my goal, it seems a lot more achievable than I want to be famous. I want to sell my artwork for like $1 million or something like that, right? This is not about dreaming. This is about literally defining your goal, like something you're holding yourself responsible to achieve it. Because yes, of course, I would love to sell my artwork for $1 million and be famous, right? But that's like dream. That's just like ha ha ha. But if I'm talking about the goals that I'm trying to hit, then it'll be like, yes, I'm trying to generate income for myself. So defining a very clear, practical goal for yourself, I think it's a first step. And once you do that, you can look at your goal and ask yourself, is this achievable? I think that also quantify the fear of not being able to make it is to know what your goal is. Now, the second part, which I think is very important, is setting the right expectations on how long it's going to take you to hit that goal. I think a lot of us, including myself, have the tendency to expect things to happen quickly, like a year or 2 years. Which seems like year is like a really long unit for time, but no, a lot of these things takes 10 years, 5 years at least, before you can see some sort of result. So setting the right expectations on how long you'll have to invest in this before you see any results or before you see some sort of like progress, I think it's very important to not get discouraged. So yeah, those are my three biggest fear, and I can tell you they still come up almost every single day in different forms and different ways. Especially when things are not going well, then their noises are like louder versus when things are going really well. I'd be like, haha, I'm like winning this game. But I think it's part of the journey. You just have to accept that you will be living with these fears every single day, maybe, but you'll get better at it. And like as you see more results and progress on your second career, these fears will start to go away. They might come back in different ways, but like that's part of the process. And you will also learn to become better at dealing with them so they don't paralyze you or you get so discouraged by it, right? I would love to hear where you are in your journey. Comment below and share with me what fears that you're struggling to overcome. Because you know what? Maybe one day I'll face them too. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.